What's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into the new Danessa Myricks Lightwork. What is this one? Number 5 I Am palette. So this came in the mail today and I was like, thank you, let me rush myself with the quickest to make this video. So this is what she looks like on the inside. Absolutely stunning. I'm gonna give you some swatch comparisons of some of the older palettes she has alongside some other shimmer palettes. I had a couple of other ones that I was supposed to get, but I left them in a pile over there. So when we get to those, I'll just pause and then, you know, do that. So of course we're gonna start off with her 2 palettes. So remember, I didn't get the very first one. It ended up selling out and they didn't bring it back to Sephora, so I didn't get a chance to get my hands on it. But then she came up with this smaller one, which I'm kind of glad about, since we all know nobody likes these shades in the middle of the second one. So I think that's why she switched it up and changed the way she did, because we all complained about it. But this is the first one I got my hands on. I think it was 60 bucks, and this is Lightwork 3, the experience. And this is, I think, just a miniature version of that first big one. So I wanted to swatch the shades side by side just to give you all an idea of what's going on with the new one versus what's going on with the old one. And then I have like a few other palettes. So this is just going to be a video on swatching all the shades and comparing shades to other shades that are already in my collection to help you out if you have some of the stuff that's in my collection too. So let's get into it, girl. So we're going to look at the first palette and see which shimmers look similar to which other shimmers and go that way. So here is what the first palette looks like, or the first palette I have looks like compared to this one. I feel like I don't see that many shifts in it, but I will see if we can find anything. This one seems to be a lot more just sparkly as opposed to, you know. I'm going to start with the shade Gia. I think, did I use that? And I'm going to grab the shade Enough. These seem to be a little thinner than the other ones. This says this is the grounding energy, then there's the bold energy, and then there's the soft energy. So here's what they look like side by side. This is giving metallic, but this one is giving a shift and this one isn't. So this seems like it's just more of a metallic shade, and this is a shifting one. So if you can see right here, it looks like that. When I turn my hand sideways, you see how it turns green? But when it's forward, it gives that gold shift. And you notice how this one just stays green. So I don't think this is supposed to be like the traditional one with all the different, you know, shifting shades in it. I think it just has like the middle ones shift, the top ones don't, because they're soft, like iridescent type shades, and then the bottom ones don't. Where's my box? I think I left it on the bed. Do I have my phone? I don't have anything by me to like be verifying what I'm saying. Y'all just, let me see this shade. So what else do I want to swatch? I guess I'll swatch the shade Abundance and see if it's similar to the other shade. Ooh, so this is the shade Abundance. It shifts, I don't know if you all will be able to see that, it shifts from green to purple. So when it's turned this way, it's green, but can you see that it's shifting purple when I turn it that way? Because it's purple on my end, but I don't think it's purple on your end. Are you seeing that? See if I turn my finger this way. Yeah, I feel like when I turn my finger sideways, you see how it's purple now. When I turn it straight forward, it's green. And then it's purple when it's turned sideways. So that's what that shade is giving. To me, it's similar to another one of the shades in the second palette, though. I swatched that from the third palette. That's that green shade on the very end. It says Bold Energy. It gives me a similar effect to the shade Out of Book and even the shade Awakening. So I'm going to swatch both of those now. So this is, sorry, Out of Body. That's it right there. And then this is the shade Awakening. So to me, they look somewhat similar. We're going to swatch them all on the hand now and see, though. So, okay, so Out of Body is giving more deep bluish purple. So it's not exact, but it's giving like similar vibes to it. Like when I turn, do you see how it's blue when I turn my hand this way? And this one still looks green, but it's purple. So this is Out of Body. Let me see if I can like turn my finger and you can see what I'm talking about. Because see, when my fingers turn this way, do you see how it looks more purple now? But when I turn it this way, it just seems like greenish blue. That's Out of Body. And then this is the shade Awakening. So as you can see, it's looking more purplish and blue. I hope that it's helpful. Y'all know me, I'm still going to do like my video, my swatches in the sun, and that might help you out a little bit more, because I mean it's 3 AM when I'm doing this now. So I'm trying the best I can with the time in which I have to show it. But I feel like I'm definitely not doing it justice by a long shot, but I'm still trying, girl. So So yeah, because it's looking like a fuchsia shade right here, this one at the bottom, when my hand is turned like sideways like so. But then when I turn it straight on, as you can see, it's just blue and green. But when you turn it this way, this is purple. Oh, sorry, this is more blue, and this is more fuchsia, and then this is giving like a light purple and green shift to it. I was thinking maybe I should have just did a reel of these instead with all the different shifts compared to all the other shifts, but I'm like, reels, like, sorry, shorts can only be 60 seconds, and it's like I wouldn't be able to do that in 60 seconds. So let's see what else we got in here. I feel like I want to do the shade Aurora, so we're gonna do the shade Aurora. It's the shade Unbreakable. Just start off with Aurora. Really looks similar to the shade Color Flip in the Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette, the original one, if anyone cares. So this is Aurora from the very first palette at the bottom, and then this is the shade Unbreakable. This is one of the grounding energy shades. So you see how it shifts when I turn my hand like that? You can see the different tones in it right here, whereas this one still stays pink. So the bottom row is definitely just metallics, because no matter what I swatch it against, it's just giving one tone, which I guess is good because she's giving you a variety of tones in the palette this time. Let me see. I want to swatch it against the shade Loved. So I'm going to take Love, that's part of the bold energy section in the middle, and see if it looks similar to this shade. Okay, no, so this is definitely giving a lot more glitter, but when you turn your hand sideways, it's still shifting the same, because like both of them look green when my hand is turned sideways. This here, I don't know if you can see that. See how it's giving like an orangish green shift to it? Both of them, and then this is giving classic pink. When I turn my hand forward, it just looks like a nice brightish peach shade with pink and green sparkle in it. That's what it's giving. Yeah, see when I switch my hand like that, you can see the like green shift that it gives for a second. So that is the shade Loved. It's in the bold energy section in the middle. It's on the left of that purple shade called Healed. I'm really liking that shade. Just looking at it, I'm like excited. Like, yes, I need to touch it and put it on my eyeballs immediately. So I want to do the shade Strawberry Milk from the original palette, but it has more of a pink and purple shift. I want to see how it swatches against the soft energy shade called Protected. So I'm swatching Strawberry Milk first. That's out of the Lightworks 3. And then I swatch the shade. Oh, it's just giving a stronger version of that. It's giving a stronger version of Strawberry Milk in my personal opinion. So this is what it looked like side by side. As you can see head on, they look pretty similar. This one is a little bit lighter than this one. I feel like this gives a little bit more lavender, and this gives more of like a pink to it. But when you turn your hand sideways, they're giving a similar shift. I feel like this just gives a stronger shift than this one does. So those are actually pretty similar in tone in my personal opinion, just looking at them on my hand. And this is what all of them look like. Trying to shift it as best I can, and hopefully you can see, because I don't have my lights turned up high or anything, so, and there's not that much light in this room, so I feel like it should be okay to leave it where it is. Let's see what else we got here. I don't think I have too many other shades. Well, I guess y'all know me, I want to swatch the blue so bad, so I think I already swatched the shade Martian, didn't I? I think I swatched Martian and Galaxy. Let me double check though. I'm gonna swatch the shade Martian again just because, you know, I love shades like that. So that's what it looks like. It's definitely one of those blue to like purple iridescent type metallic type shades, and I want to swatch that against this shade called Brave in the bold energy section. So Brave just seems like it's a more iridescent version of this one that has a stronger purple shift to it. And then I'm going to swatch it against Resilience, which is the soft energy section. So I basically did Martian against this one right here, Brave, and then this one right here, Resilient. So that's what we're swatching against. So this is Martian, this is Brave, and then this is Resilient. So as you can see, they all have their own iridescent shift and color to them. But like when I turn my hand this way, this one pulls a little bit more pink, this one pulls more purple, and this one pulls more lilac. So this is more of a true like royal purple. This one's more of like a fuchsia-ish pink with a little more glitter than the first one. And then this one has the same amount of glitter as this one and has like a lavender shift to it. But when you turn my hand forward, they're all different tones. So I find that interesting. Y'all, do y'all see now? I'm gonna turn my hand like this. Because they're definitely giving different shifts. Man, I wish you could see the shift in sparkle, because honey, it's making me love, love, love this palette. But I will try to get more detailed swatches of them when it comes to the, what do you call it, the short, even if I have to just like do it in sections or like rows of the palette to make sure I'm giving you everything you need, because we only did the first part of this palette and I'm like, child, Lord jeez. Okay, so let's get into some of these orange parts. So I'm gonna do the shade Solar Rain, and I'm going to put it up against two shades at the top that are called Soft Energy. I got this one called Centered that I'm gonna put up against. Ooh, it looks like wet metal. Just, ooh, yes, it has a lot of glitter going on in it. And then I'm putting up against the shade Radiant. So this is Solar Rain from the volume 3. This is Centered from the Soft Energy of the newest palette, and then this is Radiant from the Soft Energy of the new palette. So when I turn my hand this way, this one at the bottom is shifting green. If you all can see here, this one is shifting green on your end, but on my end now it's orange, and this one is just shifting yellow from like that orangey creamsicle color that it was shifting before. I want to do some of the other shades at the bottom too, so I'm gonna swatch the shade Fearless. It was right underneath those other two oranges in the bold energy section, so we're gonna add that to this section now, and I think I'm pretty much done with this first palette after that. Okay, so this is definitely shifting green as well, whereas this one is not. So that's interesting. These two are giving more of a green shift. This one is giving you all a green shift on camera, but when I might have my hand turned the way I have it turned toward me, then it's orange. And then this one is just staying with that kind of orangey shift that it starts off with. So it's not giving too much shifting, if you all can see. Because I feel like you only see that this one is changing when all of them pretty much have changed. Turn it that way, and would that make a difference? Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done with the first palette, so we can move on to the second palette and see what we're working when it comes to that. Y'all, look at all the glitter on my hand. It's so sparkly and shiny. Ooh, honey. I'm hoping it doesn't mess with the reflect of the other ones, because I swatched so many, but it's like I want to get this swatch today and not like wait 100 years. So I'm just like, I'm gonna have to keep going, girl. I'm just gonna have to keep going. So we're gonna compare it against palette number 2 now. And I told you all that a good alternative to this one is the All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 from Unearthly Cosmetics. But let's see what shades in here. Some other shades in here. So I want to start off with this orange shade Nirvana that's at the top, because I feel like it looks really similar to that orange shade called Fierce from the Bold Energy part of the second palette. It seems like it's a little bit brighter. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's a deeper orange, whereas this one is a little bit of a brighter orange. But when you turn your hair like this, it's definitely pulling a lot more green. I think you can see when I turn my hand like that, this one is more green than this one though. This is pulling a little bit green, but this one is pulling a lot green. So some of these tones are giving me the Sumerian Sunset vibes as far as like the way they're shifting, because y'all saw me put that one on the lid and how it shifted. So it's kind of giving me vibes of that. So when I do my comparison on the shorts, I might include that. I didn't bring it with me because I didn't you know what the shimmers were going to shift like. I literally took it out of the mailbox and then had to get ready for work, so I didn't have time to do all of what I normally do. Y'all know I try to be pretty detailed when it comes to stuff like this, because this type of stuff it is. We already did Out of Body in here, and I think 6 Sense. Let's see what else is in here that looks similar to something else, because I feel like there's not a lot of shades in the second one that look similar to the third one, which is good. It seems like it was more the first one and the third one that had similar tones to them, which I guess I can appreciate and like, because that means I'm not spending a whole bunch of money on the same shades over and over again. I'm really not feeling like a lot of these shades look similar. I'll show you both the palettes so you can see. But see, I don't feel like a lot of these look similar, which I'm happy about. I'm mainly happy about these middle shades not being in there. So I'm trying to debate if I even want to swatch anything from here, because we swatched the two that I felt like looked most similar. So I don't really feel the need to swatch into this one a lot, because it's not giving a lot of what the other one has, which I'm happy to report. So let's get into a couple of these other palettes real quick. So I got my, can you focus? Thank you. I got my It's Belle Cosmetics, of course. This is the Breaking the Rules palette. This is her very first palette, and everyone was in love with it. Since it doesn't have that much shifting going on, I figure maybe this would be a good one to compare to. So I want to compare, let me see. I swatched the shade Inspired. I don't think anything similar to that one though, because these look lighter. I'll swatch the shade Make Me, but they're not similar. Yeah, they're not. And then I'm going to swatch the shade Abundance next to the shade Eager for More. And see, Eager for More doesn't change, but this one changes to a bluish purple shift. And this shade here, Inspiring, doesn't change, and neither does the shade Make Me. So they don't have that many similarities, which again I am glad about, because you know I don't want to have a million similar shades in my collection. I mean, it's nice for comparison purposes to help you out, but as a general rule, it's like I'm not excited about having like 15 of the same like thing, other than for like work purposes for doing these types of videos. Otherwise, I'd love to tell y'all, like, I would not have a collection this big, honestly. We're gonna take the shade Relentless from the Soft Energy section, and I want to swatch it against your choice from the Breaking the Rules palette. So I feel like these actually do look similar, even when I turn them sideways. Like this one pulls a little bit more lilac-ish, but I feel like on the eyes they look the same, and as you can see on my hand, look the same. So this is the only dupe we have found with the It's Belle Cosmetics, and I feel like it looks a little more wet on the arm than this one does, because there's a little bit more pigment in the Danessa one than there is in the It's Belle Cosmetics one. So that's all the stuff I really saw. I can swatch this shade, not listening, just to see if it's going to be similar to that shade Abundance, but I feel like it won't. Yeah, because it's giving more of a soft iridescence on the lid, and it's not even shifting to the same color. So this is the shade Not Listening compared to the shade Abundant. So none of them are really looking similar. Y'all don't understand how happy I am, because I'm like, if I had a bunch of dupes to this palette in my collection, I've been upset because this palette is so expensive. So the fact that so far I'm not finding any dupes in my all shimmer palettes I already have, and a lot of similar shifts. I think we may have found like two that I felt like were somewhat similar, but like I haven't found anything that's exact. That's what I'm excited about. Nothing is exact to anything else that I have so far. Now we're gonna go into my Dawn of Fall palette. This is like my favorite It's Belle shimmer palette, if anyone cares. I love this one because it does give subtle shifts, but it's not like overdoing it. So the shade Riverside is one of my favorites. So I'm going to swatch that against some of these blue shades in here. So we're going to swatch it against the shade Brave in the Bold Energy section. And then I think I'm going to swatch it against the shade Strong, because I don't think I swatched that one yet. And I'll swatch Strong against the shade Deep Forest, because they look like they might have a similar shift. Oh no, she's much deeper. So this is Deep Forest from It's Belle. This is Strong from the Bold section, so Bold Energy section. This is, which one is this? This is the shade Brave from the Bold Energy section on the other side, and then this is the shade Riverside from It's Belle. So when I turn my hand like this, they each have different tones as usual. The It's Belle one is pulling more like that shade Color Flip from Natasha Denona that I talked about earlier. This shade right here called Strong is shifting really deep in purple like. This shade right here called Brave definitely has like a fuchsia pink shift to it when my hand is turned this way. I don't know if you all can see it. And then the shade Riverside is pulling purple, but when you turn them forward, they have that nice icy effect to them, and then some depth to them. So I'm describing it because I feel like when I turn my hand, you still don't see what I see, which kind of sucks, because I'm trying to turn it so you can see what I see, and you still not seeing it. So I'm hoping that my swatches in Natural Daylight will help you out a little bit. Or maybe I have to do the trick like Annette's Makeup Corner does, where you hold it up to a mirror in the sunlight and see how that works out. I don't know. We'll have to see. But, you know. Let me see. Are there any other shades in here I feel like are similar? Well, we can swatch the oranges, because there's a shade called False Sunset, and then there's one called Autumn. So I'm going to swatch both of those. But again, these seem like they're more everyday tones. So I swatched Fierce from the Bold Energy section up against Fall Sunset. This is Fall Sunset and this is Bold Energy. This one shifts to green, as you all know. This, as you can see right there from my hand, this one isn't shifting at all. It's just a orange shade. So I will swatch the shade, what is it? Autumn up against it as well, just to show you like, oh, so the Autumn shade does shift a little bit. If you can see right there, it is shifting a little bit, but it's shifting to a like a orangish green, whereas this is just a full-blown limeish green, and this is just an original orange. So they are shifting, just the Danessa Myricks ones is shifting the most. I don't need to swatch the light greens against it because they're not the same. I do want to swatch the shade Unstoppable that's in the Grounding Energy section, even though I feel like it's not going to be similar to the one I want it to be, because you know the Grounding Energy that we have learned is the one that's just classic shimmers. It doesn't shift to any different shade, so I feel like it's just going to be whatever shade it is. It might have more impactful glitters in it than the one from It's Belle, but that's pretty much it. And this is another one of my favorite shades too. It's called Candy Apples. I love using Candy Apples. Then I'm going to swatch the shade Powerful from the Grounded Energy section up against the shade Boo from the It's Belle palette. So this is more satin shade, and that's definitely more of a metallic shade. So here's what both of, oh, okay, so it is shifting. Hold on. The shade, what is this? Powerful is shifting. This is the shade Powerful right here from the Grounded Energy section. Yeah, right here. And then this is the shade Candy Apple from the It's Belle palette. This is the shade Unstoppable from the Grounded Energy section. And then this is the shade Boo from It's Belle. So as you can see, the grounded one is definitely shifting, even though the rest of them aren't shifting down this. So I guess that's the one that's supposed to give the least amount of shifting. But as you can see, all of them look quite metallic and foiled and shimmery. And when I turn my hand, you can see that there's definitely depth and darkness in there. And look how stunning and gorgeous that shade. This is that shade that I was talking about, Powerful. It's just stunning. Look at that. Ooh, honey. So I'm glad to see that some of the shades down there shift too, because I was worried for a minute. I was like, dang, Danessa, it's hardly any shifting going on in this bottom row. Like, what is going on? But we see now that it's giving us some shifting and whatnot. So I'm happy about that. Do I have any more palettes up here I need to get? I brought my Deep Sea Treasure palette, but I don't think anything in here is going to be similar. I was thinking about doing this shade Shipwreck though against that one I just showed you all called Powerful, just because I want to see what the difference is between those, because both of them seem like those thicker type shades. So I'm swatching Shipwreck, and then I'm going to swatch the shade Powerful in the Grounded Energy section and see how they shift by each other. So this one shifts a little bit more fiery reddish orange, whereas this one seems to be a little more of that orange to yellowish green type tone. I don't know if you all can tell, but I don't know if it's because that shade starts off deeper and that's why, or if there's more like black base in the Deep Sea Treasures in that one. I'm not sure, but I don't see anything else in the Deep Sea Treasure that would match up with this palette. I guess we could try this Saltwater Pearl and see if the iridescent shade at the top will look the same as it, the shade Relentless from the Soft Energy section. So I'll swatch that just for us to see. And no, that one's definitely shifting more purple, whereas this one just stays true to like a blue shift. So this is the shade Saltwater from the Deep Sea Treasure, and then this is the shade Relentless from Danessa. So it doesn't shift to anything. It just stays that blue shade, and this, as you've already seen, has like a bluish purple lavenderish type shift to it. So that's what's going on with it. Y'all, my hands are so glittery, it is absurd. Like, y'all, I feel like I need to get yet another makeup wipe and then try to wash off my arm just before we get into some more, because like I don't want to have too much glitter to where it's like disturbing the other ones, and we've already swatched like 3 or 4 palettes. So I'm gonna have to go wash my hand just to get some of this glitter off, which is fine because I need to go grab the other 2 palettes, because I'm going to swatch them against All I Ever Wanted volumes 1 and 2 from Unearthly Cosmetics, and then we'll be done with this swatch party, girl. But I'll be right back. Oh Lord. Okay, y'all, I washed my hands and got all the glitter off and off the inside of my hands, which I'm happy about. So now we can get into the All I Ever Wanted volume 1 and 2, and then we'll be done, I swear. So let me hold them up and let you see what they look like side by side to start off with first. Ooh, y'all. So here is my All I Ever Wanted volume 1 alongside this palette. To me, this seems like a giant version of the It's Belle, what do you call it, Breaking the Rules palette. But this is what they look like side by side, and then I'll show you the second one, and then we'll start off by swatching the first one. So the second one looks really similar to the second Danessa Myricks giant palette, but this is what it looks like. So let's get into some swatches. I'm going to see which ones look most similar, and then I'll just tell you what the names of them are. I know my original one, I ended up dropping the very first one, so it's like some of the shades were like I had to press back in. It was a whole thing, y'all. So I'm going to swatch the shade Uranus against Protected in the Soft Energy section of New Palette. So let's start off with that one, because I feel like they'll look pretty similar. Okay, so here is Uranus, and this is Protected in the Soft Energy section. So this one pulls a little bit more greenish, whereas this pulls a little bit kind of like pink. It's pulling more like that strawberry milk shade if it had more pink pigment underneath it. And as you can see, when you first swatch it, this is giving more of like a blue shift, whereas this gives more of a purple one. But when you look at it in the pan, it looks like it gives more of a purple shift when it doesn't. So I don't know if y'all can see. Like I said, I'm trying to twist my hand and do all the stuff, but that's what they look like. Get my next makeup remover wipe out. Is this last one in here? I hope not. So, I hope not. No, it's not. I said, because I need another one, I need it to be here. Okay, on to the next shade. Do I have any other iridescent looking ones before we start moving into other shades? Okay, so I want to swatch the shade Healed from the Bold Energy section. That's this deep purplish shade. And I'm going to swatch it alongside the shade called Passion in the All I Ever Wanted volume 1. So I'm going to swatch it alongside that one. And then there's a shade next to that one called Plum that I want to swatch it against as well. So we're going to swatch that against Plum. And there's a couple of shades. So this is the shade Healed from the Bold Energy section. This is Passion, and then this is Plum. So here's what both of them look like. So this one swatches a little bit more green. This one just stays purple, and this one is kind of like a plum with some gold shimmer in it. So none of them are matching so far. I mean, when I look at them in my hand, they look similar, but none of them look like exact, like they could be exact dupes. And if it is, it's the two from the Unearthly, because the shade Uranus looks like it's just a more iridescent, icy version of the shade Passion, if anyone cared. Next, we're going to swatch, what's it, Balescus? This one right here from All I Ever Wanted, and I want to swatch that up against the shade Strong from the Bold Energy part of the palette. I also want to swatch it against the shade Abundance in the Bold Energy part of the palette. So this is the shade Balescus. I hope I said that right. And then this is the shade Strong, and this is the shade Abundance. So this one is shifting like a greenish purple. This one is shifting from blue to purple, and this one is just staying blue. So it's not shifting to any changes, but the other two are. I don't know if you can see when I turn my arm that way, how it changes. But this one changes to more of like a deep purple, and this one changes to more of a royal purple, even though it looks blue in the pan. So it's definitely giving those blue purple shifts that I'm used to giving. Y'all, I'm trying to sit with my legs held up real high, because I'm like, I don't want the palettes to fall off my lap, because honey, I would have to cry. I would have to cry. I would have to cry. And I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, because we not gonna drop this pack. Okay, so this shade Neptune is actually looking like it can be really similar to that shade Strong. So I'm about to re-swatch them. I'm just trying to wipe the makeup remover stuff into my arm before I start swatching again. So I'm swatching the shade Neptune, and we're gonna go back into the Strong because they look similar. Okay, so Strong is giving a deeper shift of purple to blue than this one is, but they're both giving like a blue to purple shift. So this is the first one I found that looked similar. It's not exact, it's similar though. Like, it's similar enough to where if I had both these on the eyes, you don't be able to tell by the slightest difference, because the shade Strong is like this much deeper than the other one. That's the only reason you'd be able to tell. I'm trying to tell you. What does this Moon Boot shade look like? Just nice. And then I swatched the shade Moon Boots underneath of this one just to see if there's that bit of difference. And this one is just a slight bit lighter in the purple tone than this one. So these three shades are like really similar in tone. If you like those sorts of shades, they are swatching really similar in tone. It's just the shade Neptune is a little bit deeper purple when you first look at it head on, but once you turn the hand sideways and they do the blue to purple shift, they all look pretty much the same. It's just like this much in difference for each tone, which I've been finding very interesting. I haven't found any that look really similar to this silver shade, which I'm kind of disappointed, because like I've been wanting to swatch that, but I'm like, there's nothing to compare it to, and I'm not just gonna be swatching stuff just to be swatching it, girl, because it's like 4:30 in the morning. I can't be doing that. So I'm swatching the shade Mars now, and the shade Frolic. So I swatched Mars, and I'm swatching the shades Fierce in between Mars and Frolic, just so you can see the difference in the shifts. And then I'm swatching the shade Centered behind the shade Frolic, and then I'm gonna swatch the shade Radiant behind Centered, and those both are from the Soft Energy spot. So this is Mars from All I Ever Wanted. This is Fierce from the Bold Energy section. This is Frolic from All I Ever Wanted. This is Centered from the Soft Energy section, and this is Radiant from the Soft Energy section. So we'll turn our hand, and so the red shade doesn't change. Y'all know the Fierce shade changes to green. This Frolic shade doesn't change from its orangey bronze looking tone. This Centered shade just kind of stays that orangey dreamsicle shade. It turns, and then the shade Radiant turns green. So all those are pretty much looking the same they did before, so there's no differences in shifts in tones there. Again, I'd be interested to see how these shades are going to compare to my what's that palette called, to my Sumerian Sunset palette, because I'm feeling like a lot of those orangey-ish tones are really giving the same like shift that the Sumerian Sunset gives from Adept, and if it is, then it's like you don't necessarily need it. So I'm gonna swatch the shade Just Landed, even though I don't feel like it's necessarily similar, but I want to see how similar is. Oh, okay, yeah, this isn't gonna be similar to Abundance at all. I was gonna swatch this up against Abundance, but they're not gonna look the same at all. Like, it's giving definitely more mermaid vibes than that is, but I'll swatch Abundance as I'm here, you here, we here. And Abundance is giving more like that blue, green, purple shift, whereas this, if you can see by my hand, this is just giving a blue shift. This is shifting to deep purple from the green that you see on camera, so that's not it. My camera battery decided to start flashing again because it said I've been sitting here too long trying to film these, and I only been sitting here like maybe 15-20 minutes, and it already went off on the first one when I was trying to film Natasha Denona. So I don't know what its problem is. I guess it's tired of me talking. I don't know, but those are pretty much all the shades I see in the All I Ever Wanted anyway. So I guess we can just, well, Alien Princess looks similar to the shade Unstoppable, so I guess I'll do both those, and then I'll come back and show you when I get a battery. So Alien Princess and Unstoppable. Okay, yeah, no, they're not similar. So it's Alien Princess and Unstoppable, and it doesn't have a shift in it, and this is more iridescent, so neither one of those are similar. Okay, so we are done with All I Ever Wanted palette. The last palette I'm gonna touch on is All I Ever Wanted 2, and then we'll finally be done. And girl, I know I'm tired too. Ooh, honey. Okay, y'all in the home stretch. So let's get into this All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 alongside this new Danessa Myricks palette and see what the business is, girl. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the shade Throne. it's this one right here at the very bottom. And just based on the way it shifts, it looks really similar to the shade Strong in the Bold Energy section, and then Abundance in the Strong Energy section. We're gonna start with those. So on site, they don't look similar. Actually, I feel like on site, the shade Thorn looks really similar to the shade Abundance. But when you turn your hand sideways, they look pretty similar. This one right here has the deepest purple shift to it out of all three of the shades, but they're giving similar vibes. This one just gives a little bit more depth when it comes to the blue than the purple. This one gives more depth when it comes to the purple, and this one gives more of a green to purple depth in the shift. But otherwise, it's pretty much looking the same. Like, I feel like on the lid, it would look extremely similar depending on what kind of like look you're going for. So there's that. Let me see. When it comes to iridescent shimmers, I feel like there aren't that many in here to choose from to compare to other things, so we shouldn't have too many of those to do. Really looking through the palette, trying to see what similarities I see. Let me see. Let me swatch the shade Jaded. Yeah, it's not really looking similar to anything we've swatched so far. What about you? That actually looks pretty similar to the shade Protected in the Soft Energy section. So this is the shade Desdemona. I hope I'm saying that right. And then this is the shade Protected in the Soft Energy section. And they look similar when you swatch them, but like when you turn your hand, y'all know this one shifts to like that orangey-ish type shade. And when you turn it forward, it gives more of that like pink vibe to it. And let's swatch Relentless in the Soft Energy section to see it's giving similar. No, it's still giving that light purple to, sorry, that light blue to purple shift to it with kind of a little bit of iridescence on the lid, so it's not doing too much. I want to swatch the shades Dreamer and Jinx up against the shade Healed in the Bold Energy section of the palette. So let's see. I'm gonna swatch Dreamer first, and then I'll swatch the shade Jinx, and then I'm gonna swatch the shade Healed. I guess I'll swatch Loved too, why not? Okay, yeah, Loved is the one that has a really sparkly, pretty green iridescence to it. So this is the shade Dreamer, this is the shade Jinx, this is the shade Healed from the Bold Energy section, and then this is the shade Loved on the other side of that shade. This one is just giving more of a fuchsia pink swatch. These two are actually looking pretty similar when it comes to that orange shifting to kind of like limeish green effect, and then this one is just giving a green base with a whole bunch of different purple and champagne and peach sparkles in it. So that's what they're giving. So none of them are giving the same thing except maybe these two right here. So those are the only similarities I'm personally seeing. Again, I will give you swatches on my YouTube shorts that I hope will be better, and make sure you follow GELBEAUTY87 on Instagram, because I try to do lots of content about this there to give you like similarities, since you know I own so many shimmer palettes like I'm showing you right now. I'm trying to see, is there anything else that's similar in here? Well, I guess we can swap this Opulent shade, because I feel like it might be similar to some of those oranges in here. Like, we swatch it up against Fearless. Okay, Fearless is already given orange. Then we go, Fearless is in the Bold Energy section again, and then Centered, as we know, is in the Soft Energy section, and then Radiant is in the Soft Energy section next to Centered. So this first shade here is, which one did I say this one? Opulent is what this one is. This is from All I Ever Wanted. This is from the Bold Energy section. This is the shade Fearless. This is Centered from the Soft Energy section. And then this is Radiant from the Soft Energy section. It's always next to... Oh, okay, so the green in this one right here from... what's it? Fearless in the Bold Energy section is looking really similar to the green in the Radiant one. The green in the Radiant is just like a tad bit lighter than that one. but as you can see on the hand, they're two different colors. This one seems to be like a more peachy orange, and this seems to be a more like traditional orange that just shifts to green. So it depends on what you want it to look like on the lid starting off and finish with, which one of those you would prefer. Plus there's different glitters in them, like one has more orangey glitters and more has more like champagne gold green-ish glitters, so the glitters in them are different as well. It's one of those like you have to actually see it in like the right lighting and all that, and I feel like I don't necessarily have the right lighting for that now, but I did still want to get you some info up about this palette since I do have it and I knew y'all knew I was getting it. Let me get this shade Stoned. I'm gonna swatch that. That's from the All I Ever Wanted Volume 2, and I'm swatching it against the shade Evolving. So here's what both of them look like. I feel like they look somewhat similar when I swatch them out. Remember, this is the shade Evolving from the Soft Energy part. I haven't really swatched that one too much because I haven't seen anything to compare it to. And this is the shade Stone from All I Ever Wanted Volume 2. This is from the Danessa Myricks Soft Energy section, which is that top row of the palette. So when you turn your hand sideways, these actually look like a pretty close match. It's just this one has a deeper green tone to it when it first starts out swatching it, but when I turn my hand sideways, the shifts in them are pretty close. So I might end up doing a battle to compare some of the ones that I feel like are pretty close in either one of the palettes to show you if you really like need the palette or not. Because I know she had a bundle back in the day for the Unearthly Cosmetics All I Ever Wanted to get both of them for like a decent price from what I remember. So that might be a better deal for you, especially if you can use someone's code. I don't think there's anything else in this palette I really want to swatch, because everything else doesn't seem like it really has a shift or too much of anything to it. So I think we're actually done with this video. I know it was a long one, y'all, but with a lot of shimmery palettes I had to sift it through and swatch. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you both my eyes in the beginning because, honey, I knew this was gonna be long, but at least I think I forgot I did. Anyway, so I have on the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and I mixed it with the Violet Vault's Sugar Crystals palette. So the blue in my crease is the Sugar Crystals palette, and the blue under my lash line is the Sugar Crystals palette. Also, the shimmer on my lid is the Sugar Crystals palette from Violet Vaults. But all the other mattes are from the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Okay. For real. Be blessed, girl. Bye.